Morning, guys. How are you guys doing? I'm out here door dashing again. Wanted to share a little bit of something that happened to me a couple days ago. As a door dasher, I go all over the city. I go to like 3 or 4 cities actually, and sometimes I go into all different types of communities and places, and sometimes you have a bias. You know, you think, man, if I go into these really rich neighborhoods, maybe they'll give me a nice tip, or if I go to these poor neighborhoods, I probably won't get anything. I had literally went the other day to this really rich neighborhood, and they said they're gonna give me a tip. I was like, oh man, I'm kind of excited about it. And I got there. I mean, it's probably $500,000 home, if not more. Really fancy, at least for our neighborhood. You know, like if you go into other communities, that same home would probably be $1 million. You know, so I get there, and the guy gives me a tip and hands me a handful of quarters that equal about, it was like almost $3. And so I was like, okay, well, whatever. I don't want to be greedy or anything. Excuse me. And so then I go to a poorer neighborhood. They got a trailer park, and the guy was so generous and gave me like $20. You know, it's just. And I went to an apartment, and they gave me $20. And so what I've learned over the years, at least door dashing anyways, is that sometimes you expect these big payouts when you go to these richer communities. And then hold on here a second. Sorry about that, I got a DoorDash. But sometimes you go to these richer communities and you think you're gonna get a bunch of payouts and lots of money. And you go to these communities that don't have quite as much money as these rich communities. And what I found is what we consider the poorer communities, or the people that don't seem to have a lot of money, tend to be the ones that are the most generous. Anytime now, you see a working truck, you see a Pepsi truck, or some kind of, working truck, pickup truck, they generally are the more generous people that I've come encountered. It's like the old saying, you can't judge a book by its cover, you know? So I guess what I've learned from all this is about generosity and being, as generous as you can to the level that you can, especially with people that are serving you. I mean, if you guys got people coming to cut your grass, and give them some bottled water, some Gatorades. People bring a pizza to your door. Don't cheap out at $2-3. You give them a $5 bill, give them, or whatever, $10 bill. Because they're serving you, and a lot of them are working for just tips too. Whoa. So yeah, the principle of being generous too, just not being, sorry about that, guys. The principle of being generous too, not just with money, but with your time, with your skills, and it'll come back to you. Cast your breads upon the water, and it shall return. And we don't do things just to be blessed, We don't do things just because we want people to think of us better. We just need to do things to make the planet a better place. Especially those of you that are Christians, That's a good witness, Being generous with your time, your skills, and your money, A lot of times, what you put up with your money shows you where your heart is as well. Yeah, it reminds me of the widow and the rich people. They were giving a bunch of money, and they're making big deal about it. They're showing people how much money they were giving, and this old lady this poor widow came and gave like half of a cent, and it was more than the rest, And it's not necessarily about the volume of money that I'm talking about, even though I'm It seems like I was talking about the change, but it's about the condition of your heart and what you're capable of doing. You know, a lot of times people are capable of doing much more and do very little. So let's do as much as we can to bless others, to share with others, to love others, even if it's going to a restaurant, having a positive attitude. I hope that touches someone, blesses someone, and I hope you all are doing well. Peace out, guys. Boom.